Hey there, so welcome to another review. So today's book I'm going to be reviewing is Star Wars from a certain point of view. So this is essentially a collection of stories set all during the time of Star Wars: A New Hope. As the book it says on its front cover, 40 stories celebrating 40 years of Star Wars. And then of course on the back has a nice for the 40 years logo that they showed at Celebration also. But yeah, so I read it with about 7 days before I have to return it to the library. And I get only 3 weeks, so with a week to spare. No, not a week. Yeah, a week. Right? Yeah. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, essentially a week to spare. So I was able to read this book in 2 weeks. Not bad considering I read a few stories each night. So yeah, some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. Nice, and the changing style was I was okay with. Though the only style change I really didn't care for was when they went to the one of them by Ian Dosha. I'm probably butchering that name. That was probably the only change in style I didn't like. The short story there was called Palpatine, and I won't go too much into a plot details there, but the thing I didn't like about it is that it was poetry, and I don't like poetry. But that's a personal thing. It was good. It really was a good story. Being poetry, it's harder for me to focus on it. Yes, so it's about Palpatine receiving word of Obi-Wan's death. But it does actually, it's poetry, Shakespeare kind of thing. And when re, when I read the in the back talk a little bit about this, yeah, I kind of recognize it as more Shakespearean now. Though when I first read it, I thought poetry. That's the thing, though. Sometimes, like I probably would be better if I had gotten more Shakespeare experience in high school. Common Core curriculum changes. Actually, it wasn't really in Common Core, but curriculum changes did affect it. Uh, but that's never. It's just a style of myself. Just a personal thing. Somebody might love it. That might be their favorite style here. But yeah, there's all different kinds of styles. There's two from the point of view of some droids. The first one is from the Astromech R5. So his told like a regular story, but the one that there was one about a mouse droid. That was actually quite a hilarious one. Oh yeah, it was of MSE6 and Men. I think kind of a play on sorry about that, of Mice and Men. So yes, that was kind of a neat thing to see there. It was an interesting story nevertheless. We get to find a little bit about TK421 and all that, without ever actually going into his field of view. There's a lot of others. There's one whole story, duty roster, totally about who was serving in the Battle of Endor, who fought. So that was an interesting thing to see. See, we got to learn a lot about the pilots in that one. So yeah, the person who's in charge of all the technicians is who that one's it's a point of view of. And it's kind of neat, like talks about was it duty roster? No, it was not duty roster. But duty roster was pretty good because we got to learn a lot about Red Squadron there. Sorry, wrong one. I ooh, was it the angle or grounded? I'm sorry, I'm slipping through. Yeah, it was grounded, even though the person whose point of view was not actually grounded, just well, where she was stationed because she was apparently in charge of all the ground crew members. But like for example, like also talked about what ships were in use, how many were in use, and what ships were not. And so there were 7 X-wings that were not used, and not 7 spacecraft. 5 X-wing, 1 Y-wing, and 1 U-wing. And they give a reason that 2 of the X-wings were cannibalized for pods for the other X-wings. 3 had no pilots to crew them, though there was an inconsistency because they stated though that in duty roster that there was fake Reg was grounded in that battle. He was not flying. So so that there created a slight inconsistency there. Couldn't they have put him in one of those two? The Y-wing and the U-wing had only 4 ships I would say had solid excuses. The 2 X-wing that were essentially cannibalized, the Y-wing couldn't even didn't work, and the U-wing would be not only no crew, but apparently also it would have no use in that battle. But also like that was kind of neat because how I talked about each individual pilot, especially Red Squadron, but they also did other ones, including some from Scarif who were not in A New Hope. Like I'll just use like for Red Leader, where he was flying Red 1 pilot, the name, the flight hours, whether or not they were asynchronous, if they were like a double, triple, quadruple, and how many confirmed kills. And of course, talked about others. No, of course, nearly all of them were through in the wedge, so I expected him to have more flight hours. But talked of though when the ground crew chief was talking about it, mentioned Jenna Syndulla, though still no clue about whether or not we presume she was at the Baskerville, and whether or not she survived, we still don't know. But given how I don't know for sure, and then of course Luke Skywalker has probably the most interesting thing. So just simply, Luke Skywalker, unknown flight hours. Though he actually does have a kill under his belt on the Millennium Falcon, so they could have given him that. So yeah, but it was kind of, and there's a lot of other things here. This is a story from the point of view of Biggs, which, if you've been been watching Star Wars videos on YouTube for a long time, you've probably already have discovered the Star Wars YouTube, the YouTube channel Star Wars Explained, where the host is who's the host, and Biggs is the host's favorite character. So we all know that what his favorite story was probably in here was. But yeah, there was a lot of nice stories. There was one from the perspective of Dr. Aphra on Dantooine, so a character who was never really even on screen in here. But one of them but there was actually 2 on Dantooine. The one that was from the point of view of Dr. Aphra, but also another one, Far Too Remote by Jeffrey Brown. All it is one panel of a cartoon. That literally says, meanwhile on Dantooine, something tells me they only really heal. It's like, and of course it's just cardboard boxes labeled Red Bull Base, with the S backwards and a UL instead of a EL. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. I won't give though too much more about it, because you really should look at it for yourself, but it is short, but it's great. There's the story by Pablo Hidalgo actually alternates between the view of Tarkin and Krennic. Krennic gets the middle section while Tarkin gets the edges, and and this is kind of funny. Let's see. Yeah. Just. Oh, actually, no. Alternates? Yeah. I'm just double checking. But there was some nice symmetric poetry in it. It was really nice. That was kind of nice to see. Oh man, why can't I find it? I want to make sure I get it right. Oh yeah, okay, so it goes this. Krennic had been a builder pretending to be a leader. In the end, it was his undoing. And then this is what Krennic thought about Tolkien. Tolkien was a politician pretending to be an architect. In the end, Krennic knew it would be his undoing. I just love that symmetry, and it was really in a way right. It is right. Though of course, one thing you gotta be here about, especially when you're interpreting the canoncy of all this, is unreliable narrators. So yeah, so like how I mentioned, there's that one inconsistency that Groundon brought up when compared to Duty Roster. That's really now the question is, which one of those is the unreliable narrator? Is Fake Reg the unreliable narrator, or Cole something or other? I forget his name. Is he the unreliable one, or is the person in charge of all the ground crew personnel the unreliable one? I would say Fake Reg is the unreliable one. And this is kind of like I think it was after the briefing. Yeah, what had been no before the briefing where Reg sat next to Fake Reg and just kind of maybe to like in the tension between and said, "Hey everyone, I'm Fake Cole," instead of having Cole being known as Fake Reg. That was kind of a nice little thing there, and this kind of shows some stuff. But yeah, there is some question: is are there unreliable narrators, which is going to be very likely, like the Dianoga. Yeah, the Dianoga. I had trouble reading that when that was probably the one I had maybe even more trouble than the poetry one. Who knows? But the very last one, Will's, is literally the story of writing the opening crawl, and and he's apparently conversing with somebody who prefers the prequels over the original trilogy. It's kind of funny, and it's like. And like I think also maybe it somewhat reflects the creation process of Star Wars, the actual one. Like it has in that it has a reference to has of course lots of references. Like yeah. So yeah, there's reference to the for episode there's an to episode six's I'm sorry, episode 6's production titles to use in production all that. So they put it after episode 7, probably just to make it nice and confusing for everyone. Thank you for watching part 1 of my review for Star Wars from a certain point of view. So please go check out part 2. In part 2 I'll be beginning with my rating of the book, and then I shall continue with my review as normal. So that's going to be kind of an awkward introduction, but I did need to include it somewhere. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel for future book reviews and related content. Consider following me on social media, links are in the description. And as always, have a good day or good night wherever you are. Read books.